What's going on, everybody? With spring just around the corner, I thought it would be a good time to play around with some spring patterns. I don't have an exact pattern today other than a color selection that I have picked for today's paint job. So what you're going to see today is Zach playing around in the shop, doing what I love doing the most, and that is playing around with some new patterns. So we may end up with a beautiful bait, or we may end up with a mess on our hands. Either way, I've got the colors picked out that we're going to be using today. And the blank that we're using today is a 3.5 inch deep diver from Barlows. I'll have it linked below in the description if you want to get one for yourself. So with 3 blanks remaining after this one, if you guys enjoy this video, we can do 3 more that are spring themed or spring pattern paint jobs. Now, as you can see, this blank does have like a hexagon pattern. However, that is on the inside of the bait. So today we're going to be doing an opaque pattern. So maybe in one of our next videos, we can do it transparent. That way the hexagon pattern still shows through. To kick things off, we're going to be starting off with a base coat of opaque white. So we're going to be doing some yellows and reds on the bait for that classic spring color. So this bait has a distinctive back and then the side, as you can kind of see that ridge running along the side of the bait there. So I think what I would like to do is keep the back of it black and then have all of our bright reds and yellows on the side of the bait, having the red covering the black on the back with like a scale pattern or something like that. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is load up some opaque black in the airbrush, and we're going to do our best to keep it just along the back of the bait there. I think what we're going to do is take a little bit of painter's tape and just kind of cover the sides of the bait. That way none of that overspray will shoot along the side. And the tape I'm just kind of sticking to my pants a couple times to get rid of some of the stickiness, so it doesn't peel off any of our paint. Okay, that looks fairly symmetrical. Beautiful. And the reason I wanted to do the black first was because our next color we're going to be spraying everything else that's white. So there is a little smidgen of that overspray there, but that yellow should cover that and it should be hidden fairly well once we do our scale pattern and everything. So again, experimenting. So far it's looking pretty promising. And next color up is going to be an iridescent yellow. And as I just mentioned, everything that's still white on the bait is going to get a good layer or 2 of the yellow. And obviously I don't want to cover all of our black up there, so I'm going to try to keep it on the side and the belly of the bait. Now the game plan is to strap on our stencil. And with the stencil strapped on, we're going to take this wicked opaque bismuth yellow. Now this color is not iridescent, it's just a normal opaque color, but the idea is that our scales showing through that yellow will be iridescent and shiny. So I'm going to paint it until it does not reflect anymore. Bismuth yellow is done. Now we're going to take some transparent bright red, and I really want this to be a nice subtle fade into that yellow. I don't want any hard lines with the red. With the game plan of having the red kind of follow the bill here, so the red should hopefully be above my finger all the way down with a really nice subtle fade into the yellow. That's what I was looking for. Makes it look like those scales are 3D or standing off of that iridescent color. So that makes me happy. I think with the red loaded in the brush, I'm going to darken it up around where the eyes and probably come down on the gill plate just a little bit. So I'm not sure if the camera's picking it up or not, but I did get some overspray up on top of the black there with that red. So what I probably should have done was waited till now to do the black, but nothing we can't fix. Just gonna load it up a little bit more black in the airbrush, and we'll just be very, very careful. And I think we're gonna go right back over top of those eyes. Darken those up just right at the eye socket. And this is where not having a plan, I guess, is a bad thing. So I can't decide between doing like a shad dot or if we should do some vertical stripes or maybe some splatter or leave it as is. I do know what I'd like to do is add some pearlized black scales on the back. So what we're going to do is clean out the opaque black and load up some pearl black, hold the stencil in place and spray. That way that scale pattern will carry all the way over the bait. There we go. Now that scale pattern goes over onto the back. But I'm still stuck with the bait doesn't have like a wow factor to it. I think it's a very clean, juicy looking bait that you would find in any fishing store, but I feel like we need to spicing it up just a little bit more. So I'm gonna think about that while I clean out the airbrush. After much thinking, I think I have decided on doing some vertical stripes with that hair clip, and I don't want them to be a solid black, just kind of like a nice light haze. So I don't know, maybe I shouldn't do this or I should leave it as it is, but it's kind of the whole point of this video is I do this all the time and I enjoy it, so I'm just trying to document slash bring you guys along for the ride. I'm gonna just hold it in place right there. Okay, at the moment kind of looks ugly. But I think when the clear coat goes on, it's gonna make all those colors pop. And for the eyes, I think we're just gonna keep it simple. Some nice yellow ones. And there we have it. A Zach playing with different colors, color combos, patterns. I do like this side, even though it's darker. I like the stripes being a little bit more bold than I did on this side. But we'll see once the clear coat goes on. A bait can change so much when the colors react differently to the clear coat. Also, I've been trying to hand sign my names on the bait. It's pretty rough, but hey, you know it's an original. Nobody can fake my signature that bad. Anyways, I'm gonna get some clear coat put on this bad boy. We'll come back and take a look at what it looks like all finished up.